what I'm personally obliged to do, and something I wanted to say about Judy's work here. And I think one of the ways I can start with is that the paper, the handmade paper, is dyed with ferrous oxide, in other words, red dirt. And then I realized that red dirt was what they painted with in the caves of Lascaux. And could you hear?
Oui, alors je vais juste dire un petit peu en français qu'il parle du travail de sa femme, Judith Nelson, et il parle de... les morceaux de papier sont colorés, teintés, avec la terre rouge et la poussière rouge. Et ça lui a fait penser aux grottes de Lascaux.
I kept thinking, we tend to think of these cave painters as primitive, but I think if there is a difference between us and what they did at that time, it was that the painter did not feel that he was necessary in nature. And that we, on the other hand, we may be the least necessary species on this earth, but we're self-conscious about it. And I think one of the things an artist has to work against is self-consciousness. And I think you can sense by looking at Judy's work that she's got something very old going on. And if a painter, finger painter, stick painter in the cave of Lascaux was working toward magic, then that's what she's doing. I could do a lecture on negative capability at this point, but I won't.
Je ne sais pas si je peux tout traduire. Si quelqu'un veut sauter et rajouter quelque chose, vous avez bien compris, mais il parle un peu de la façon que les peintres de Lascaux sont parfois imaginés d'être un peu primitifs, mais il y a un lien assez important, quelque chose d'universel, qu'ils ont... Bon, j'ai un peu perdu le fil, excusez-moi, mais... oui, could you one more time?
Where did you stop?
Un peu, désolé pour ça.
Did you reach the connection about being necessary?
The connection about us not being necessary. We're not necessary. That was
Il a dit la grande différence entre les peintres de Lascaux et nous, c'était qu'ils ne pensaient pas qu'ils étaient forcément nécessaires quand ils ont fait ça. Mais nous, même si nous sommes le spécimen le moins nécessaire dans le monde, on pense toujours à nous-mêmes. Et donc, si on regarde le travail de Judith, on peut voir qu'il y a quelque chose de très ancien qui déroule. Et si c'était le but des gens dans Lascaux de chercher la magie, c'est peut-être ce qu'elle fait toujours là maintenant pour nous. C'était un peu ça.
Mais nous sommes aussi conscients du fait qu'on n'est pas nécessaire.
Voilà.
And I think Arnaud said that I could read a couple of poems to you, that I am a poet. This is my 9th published book. I directed a creative writing program for Ohio University for a decade with undergraduate and graduate students. Those are my outside credentials. Aside from that, I'm a good liar. This is the title poem, and I think it fits a little bit with what I was talking about with Judy's work. And the title of the book is Learning to Miss. And we get educated, then we start to write, and the more we write, the more you understand, as Keats did, that reason and fact are a hindrance, as they would be in the Quai Lascaux. So you have to learn to miss in order to let the poem be. So this poem is about a boy who has a rifle. It's a .22 Winchester Plinker. Learning to miss. The savant kid with his Winchester .22 short splats the white tuft on a pheasant's back skull as it runs like hell for a pocket of sawgrass. Shatters a crow between the shoulder blades, lifting from candied flesh on the asphalt. Picks off rats like gray gloves, inching in the dump. Snipes heads of water snakes, V'ing glass at dusk beyond the dock. Hits what he need not imagine. One morning, in the chewed backfield, he pumps lead offhand at the perfect black pupil on a paper target stuck on the barbed wire fence. Yellow pencils of light streak through. I still like that one. And this one's fun. This one, I think we all know the movie Casablanca. Okay. The only other thing I want to say about it, the poem, is that there is a chain, supermarché, in the States called Safeway. Okay, Casablanca. You have to imagine an old couple. In 10 minutes, on Turner Classic Movie, usual suspects rounded up after the Casbah street scene, a Volker will land. A Nazi emerge in mist, played by the film's highest paid actor, an Austrian star whose wife is Jewish. Dead now, as is his wife, and the whole cast, the director, and most of the audience. Nearly a musical, choreographed, unlike an old marriage, sitting down again for kitschy romance. Both of us fatigued by wet ideals in Ilsa's eyes. Oh, the chiaroscuro, so saintly, she plays nuns looking up to heaven, or Bing Crosby, or Gary Cooper. Same glistening stare. Rick sinks in it. Ugarte, aka Peter Lorre, hailed with lead, will crumple slowly before the Patin poster. Rick light up, Carl snort, Victor light up, Sam sing, you must. You must. Ilsa's fashions, so chaste, her flesh never seen a bed, with flimsy tobacco-ridden ricks. Their planted, close-mouthed kisses will have to do, trying to stick together, harmless as the cigarettes lit through 22 scenes, thin as Rick's hair, fanned up behind the wheel of a Buick convertible, flashbacked and backdropped by the Arc de Triomphe. The rest of the cars in the flick also Buicks, even Colonel Strasse's, all right-hand drives, no Mercedes. Details substantiate artifice. Ferrari's Fez, Ilsa trilling lie 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 lie, as if she doesn't know the words. Their song too sappy, a kiss, just a kiss. We never hear a sigh. It's her eyes, their appeal, embarrassing, irresistible. We think to light up again, having quit decades ago, to flourish Galois at our own White House. Cancer is cancer. Ingrid died of it, like war. Like war urges the impulse to resume bad habits in fashionable despair. 2 minutes to decide, stay in Morocco or fly. We're out of eggs, greens, milk, and dishwasher fluid. The supermarket just opened, 8:30 Sunday, odd time for a classic movie. But we sit with coffee, addicted to clear diction. With the coming of the Second World War, many eyes, ready to predict the phrases buffs know by heart, grateful for music that does not overwhelm speech, to black and white, to shadows cast like innocence. We give in, let go, just let go. It's 42 and far away. The plane for Lisbon gyres over desert sands, lands in mist. Ilsa flies with Victor. Rick says to. He and Renault walk off in the wet gloom, damn near holding hands. We could gag, but we're free to go. Safeway.
Bravo! Super! C'était génial. Super. Great.